And the reasons we want to do this, as I mentioned before, we had a vendor, a client that we worked with, where they immediately dropped their price by 20%. They were able to negotiate with a different vendor a $40,000 rebate every single year. The strategic partners that they have with their different vendors. And when you start to think about you working with your vendors, you validate they have the certification. You know they have the qualifications. You know the management is mature and experienced and not new. They have the right capabilities that you're looking for. You're responsive to your needs. They're jumping to meet your needs because they're giving you the right quality whenever you need it, and you know they're accurate with what you need. They're not wasting your time, and they're always, absolutely always flexible to meet your needs. And you go through this process every single time. You start to benefit from these reasons, and you see the value of going through this process. And how, if you were going to categorize your suppliers, how would you do that? What different categories would you use? You have your approved vendors. These are the ones that you want to work with. You know they have the financial stability, the long-term experience, they have what you need. You have your preferred vendors. These are the vendors you love to work with. They're the ones that you like to call, or you have to call when you need to call them. They're there for you. Your partner vendors, they're the ones that are there with you for the long term. They're giving you some kind of strategic advantage so that you can be successful. Either business advantage, operational advantage, something to do with their market, something they're giving you a vendor. They're certified. They're certified to meet your requirements for the long term, your quality requirements. They've gone through a certification process. They've met your quality requirements consistently, and they're able to, without a doubt, meet your quality requirements for the long term. And you have some vendors that are going through this process, and we call them certifiable. Again, you categorize them so that if you know they're up and coming, they're vendors that you can count on. Sometimes you go through an RFP that has specific requirements that you're going to want to pre-qualify those vendors to make sure they're right. They have capabilities, they're the right size, they have the right experience, have everything you need for their particular RFP. So you're going to make sure they're pre-qualified to participate in the RFP. So instead of sending it out to hundreds of vendors, you can send it out to 3 or 4 that you know are right there. Consistently, always having competition. Another kind of vendors we don't like to talk about are disqualified vendors. These are vendors that have, for some reason, have been disqualified, have done bad business practices, have not met your requirements, and or have been debarred from working with you in the future. This is what you'll see in public procurement, where they're debarred, not allowed to participate. And one of the questions that we had were in the training is, how do you stop a business from going through and changing their business name and then participating in the bids again? The way you do that is by doing this process consistently every year on a regular basis. By doing it consistently, regularly, you can ask one of those questions, which is, have you ever been debarred? Yes or no. The answer is no. Then you say, have you ever operated under a different business name? Yes or no. And if they say no, if they're dishonest and untruthful with you, and you do end up awarding a contract and finding that they are a debarred vendor or have been disqualified, then you can basically take that contract back or suspend or cancel that contract because they lied to you. You can just put that in your terms and conditions that they've been honest and truthful with you, and if they're not, they're going to lose the contract, and that's the way you can do that. Okay. And then we have these things that we have in the United States, is that we have diverse suppliers. These are diverse suppliers. They have a special socioeconomic class, either woman-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, 8A status, hub zone, Native American, Alaska Native American, one of these different types of different businesses and their socioeconomic status, and that you need to track this if you're doing federal contracting, state contracting, or you're working with a company that does this. They need this kind of information. So this is another way you want to categorize your vendors.